Testing. All right, we should be good. All right, guys, good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. It is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, June 24th, 2022. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to join me. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo. Click on that, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel. Make sure to like our videos. Really do appreciate it. As always, more great things to come. You're watching the Bloomberg dashboard that I have. Let's go ahead and switch it over to TOS, which is the Thinkorswim platform, what we use to trade. Bloomberg is for news and everything else. Let's go over it and get started. Dow Futures are up 196 points. NASDAQ up 0.77%. S&P 0.70% at 38.26. Finally broke that 38.20 level, which I was actually 38.05, excuse me, which I was waiting for. We got above that. We're 20 handles above. 38.40 is your wick high on S&P futures in terms of this channel here. You can see that's the wick. 38.40, that's the target intermediate. Now, I do have calls on Microsoft, Apple, IWM for students, and I also have SPY calls. So Microsoft was upgraded today or made a top pick by Citibank today. So they are in the money. We have the 260 calls, which is nice. So I told everyone on Discord to just get out. Don't wait for anyone to tell you to get out. You see over the price you want, you go ahead and take it because it expires today. So now above 38.40, what's next? Well, again, we talked about that 3900 level, 38.97. We talked about that channel. We're gonna go higher. We're just gonna see at 38.40 if we reject or do we stay there. So again, 38.40 isn't exactly the wick high. It's actually right around 38.33. So let me go ahead and move that. You could see it. Well, is that right? No, I just didn't see it. There we go. 38.42. Excuse me. that's the highest price that we got back on Wednesday. I think that was, I want to say the 16th, the 17th or so. And that's where we're looking to break out of. The good news, we don't have any moving averages on top of us on any major time frames. 1 hour, we're above moving averages. On the daily, we have the 20-day above us, but again, you're talking about 39.42. I would love to get there. If that's our resistance, that's fine. That kind of matches up with the 4,000 level, relatively close if we do break 39.42. Bring up a 4 hour, same deal. The only major moving average we have is 3,900, which is the 100-day, which is a gap fill anyways. So in terms of where we want to go or where we expect to go, we don't have any much resistance there. Granted, we could get chopped up. Again, don't get cute either. So again, if you're looking to go long, which I'm still long here. I still have futures contracts. I expect to hold this at least to 3,900. Would I go ahead and open anything new today? Well, let's see the price action this morning. Let's see how the day goes. Let's see where the VIX goes. And we're going to go over that here in a second. But again, 38.42, short-term resistance. Don't be surprised we reject there. Don't be surprised we probably retest here right around 38.06, right after 38.42. Or what you get is just a complete soar job today, which is absolutely possible, and I'm hoping so, to 38.97 today. That's what I expected us to get 4,000 by the end of this week or by next. Now, again, that's pretty a blanket statement, but again, I'm leaning to the long side, like we've gone over that S&P downward channel. Sticking to that until 4,000. Until then, that's what we're going to do. Take a look at yields. Let's actually, no, the Russell is up 0.67%. I didn't finish the future side, excuse me. Gasoline futures up 1.89%, 106.24. Gasoline futures up about 1%. Gold is down 0.57%, so commodities are taking a hit. Silver down nearly 2%. Only one that's holding up is really crude oil. Remember what we talked about crude oil, let me go ahead and kind of revisit that for a second. And again, we've talked about how XOM and XLE and EX, all these names were basically oversold, which is okay. Doesn't mean that oil's bad. It's just that, overbought. It was just overbought. And that's technical reasons why you have selling. We retested that 100-day moving average here, right around 105. Pretty good level of support. We have not crossed that. We broke below it. If you want to kind of start maybe nibbling a little bit on some energy, here's possibly a good time. Let me go ahead and take a look here at XOM, 100-day moving average on the daily. CVX broke below the 100-day moving average on the daily. CVX, I'd rather have CVX at 136.16, get the yield at that price, and then own it for longer term for the value. So again, I like CVX, especially longer term, especially with dividends. You're gonna get a ton of growth. I think the spike that we got now, again, unless we are expecting more geopolitical issues, we're always going to go higher, or inflation is going to go higher. Energy is the way to go. But again, you're doing this for the yield, not for growth. Back to, let's see here. Bitcoin is up as well, 21,205. I have a chart here to show you. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar index is so key. DXY. You can see the dollar kind of pulling back, that 105 level, key level we've been talking about. If we broke 105, that'll definitely affect equities. It's going to bring up the hour chart. Pretty much just standard, kind of just staying in the chart here. Below 105, kind of holding 104 for a dollar range. So again, commodities are still taking a hit while the dollar's kind of just hovering. So that's kind of deflationary, mind you. Wheat is down, iron ore is down, natural gas was down, crude oil has been down, as you see. Let's take a look at the gold market real quick. You could see downward trend as well. So these are deflationary powers. This is a good thing. Again, if we're trying to get inflation killed. So let's go back to the dollar. And the key levels, again, if we expect equities to go higher or risk assets to go higher, we need to go ahead and get a clean break below 103.90. If that happens, 103.50, once we get there, I think 3,900 seems to be pretty much in focus, maybe even 103.57. So again, a weaker dollar does help the market. The VIX broke below the 200-day like we talked about yesterday. That's a good sign. No gaps to fill to the downside, no gaps to fill to the upside, just straight price action. And you can see just a descending triangle, descending wedge, excuse me. We should be able to at least get back down to around 27, 27 and a half, which again, the backdrop is bullish for equities on a technical basis, on a macro basis. Does it mean that this is the bottom or will sustain? No. I still think 4,000 is still oncoming, and then we'll possibly fade there. Again, possibly roll over, retest the lows on S&P futures. And again, that's what we want to see. We want to get a retest of around 36.39, 36.64. If we can retest there, hold there, and bounce, that's where you probably see more than likely a bottom. Could it be the bottom? Kind of leans to it like that. Could be. So let's go over and go over some yields here. We have here. Oh, now I'm disconnected. Okay, let me go ahead and move this. I don't know why it's saying disconnected. Let me see if I can get that going. Well, let me go over the trades I have now. Microsoft calls, I have the 260 calls. Those are going to be in the money. So again, all of our Discord members who are part of our signal service, go ahead and take that in the morning. Again, I don't want you to get exercised unless you want hundreds of shares of Microsoft, which is not a bad thing to me. I think that's fine if you have it. SPY, I have the 385 calls. If we can break 383, 384, again, a nice push this morning. If we get there, then again, more than likely we'll probably end up profit on SPY. Yesterday's chop just basically killed premiums, but a nice juice pop today would get us home. Again, the SPY gap fill is still around 389.52. So again, I want to keep going long SPY, stay long futures until we hit that level. Will it be a straight shot? No. You're going to have some bounces here and there. That's normal. But again, you stay long here. And then also I have Apple. I think I have the 142s, if I may be right. Let me see, 142s. Yeah, I have the 142s for next week. We now have a gap to fill to the downside. So again, 138.26. That could definitely be in the works once profit is taken. You come in here and retest that and then continue higher. Definitely a possibility. But Apple, definitely going to take that, leave a runner, and go from there. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the yields again. Now that I'm reconnected. Okay, so white line is your 2-year. This is your 2-year yield, 2-year Treasury yield. And why does that matter? Because again, if the rates are lower on a 2-year, that means inflation expectations are lower. So again, bonds are being bought. It's a good sign that bonds are being bought. Again, you still have the yield curve. It is flattening, meaning that, remember when we had that yield curve inversion, when the 2s were paying out in terms of yield higher than the 10s, that's an inversion of the yield curve. That's usually a recessionary signal. We had it in February. We had it again, I think, last month in May. And now we have the spreads tightening, but not inverted. So again, I'm starting to see the 2-year starting to get sold off a little bit. We're trading now around 3.06 on a 2-year basis, 3.07 on a 10-year basis, 10-year Treasury yield. And again, if we go and just bring up here the year-to-date level, and you could see the inversion. Again, you could see how the blue line was below the white. So that happened in June, and then we had it again in March. So that it wasn't May, it was in March. So again, if the blue line goes below the white, that's an inversion of the yield curve, and we had it twice. So that is a recessionary signal, granted, but again, it's so important how to look at bonds. Take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin starting to do some pretty great price action here. Remember, we bought around 18.3 on the weekend. I did the video and everything. I expect this to still go higher, possibly even test 25,000 pretty relatively soon, depending on how we close in equity markets today. The saying goes, weekends are for crypto. I know I will be watching all weekend, but again, I still like Bitcoin here. Again, remember we retested that trend line on the weekly. We've been holding up there. I'm still staying long. Nothing has changed. Ethereum. I bought some Ethereum this weekend too, and you can see that we're up about 7%. If you were with us on the investment club, you're pretty much up very nicely. But the job's not done. I mean, if we can get to 40,000, maybe I'll let the guys know or the team know, hey, if you guys want to take some profit, I mean, on crypto, that's up to you guys. I wouldn't. I would just, I'm not personally. You just hold it. But again, it's still nice to see some green on the board. No questions this morning. I guess everyone is happy. I basically kind of put my nuts out there. I said, we're going to soar tomorrow. We're going to go higher. And I've been pounding the table on it. And yeah, you could be wrong. That happens. But again, I'm going to go ahead and stay confident in the analysis, stay confident on the macro backdrop. This is all we do every day is read, 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 analyze charts, read, get information, disseminate it, report it, give it to you, and profit from it. At least that's the goal. It's a lot of process, but again, it's important. This is why I have this Bloomberg. That's a $27,000 a year machine, because I know it'll make a difference to the YouTube viewers, to the Instagram followers, to the Twitter followers, to all of our followers, whether paid or not. It matters that you guys are informed so you guys can make right decisions. Have a great rest of your day. I will catch you guys later for the aftermarket recap. We'll see exactly how the day ended, and we'll catch you guys at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys then. Cheers.